Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Melinda Behrens.
Have you ever thought about competing in a 24-hour mountain bike race? How about with one eye? No, I thought not. Oddly enough, 7 years ago, when the doctor told me to prepare for my life to live it as a blind person, it didn't enter my mind either. It was the furthest thing from my mind. That was one of the most confronting days of my life. You see, I had two choices. I could listen to the doctor, who actually told me to quit my job, move to the city because that's where there was better help and support for blind people, buy an interactive computer because they're fantastic these days, and learn to read Braille. What would you do? What I discovered was that the things in my life I was doing were not important. Some things were really, really important to me, and that day, that doctor gave me that opportunity. He didn't take anything away from me, he gave it to me. I realised that I was letting life go. I wasn't living my dream. I wasn't instilling the most important values in my life like I should have been. And to that end, I couldn't give that to my son either. And if I listened to the doctor, well, I wasn't even going to see my son physically, and that was important to me. And so I changed. I worked out what was important to me, and off I went. I now race mountain bikes with one eye. Do you know the first race that I went in, I actually got the prize for the most impressive stacks. And I reckon if they had have seen me in 3 days, I would have got the prize for the best coloured body as well. 9 months after that, I actually won my first race. 12 hours all night. 2 weeks after that, I was in a cardiologist's office who told me that I was going to die if I continued racing because I was going to have a heart attack. And so I was living my dream, and then they decided to take it away from me again. 16 weeks it took me. I was off the bike because I was going to die. It took me 16 weeks to realise that, hey guys, we're all going to die. and then I realised, well, chances are, half of you guys in this room are going to die before me anyway, so what am I worried about? So I got back on the bike and I started training again. You know, when I got off the bike, my goal prior to that was actually to race in a 24-hour race. I hadn't achieved that goal. I'd given it up because the doctor told me to. And so I got on the bike and started training. But the problem was that the first 24-hour race in Australia coming up was the Australian Championships. Can you believe that they let anyone race at the Australian Championships? You don't have to qualify. So I rock up with one eye, with an old bike, which I didn't know at the time was broken and I was still racing it, and an 11-year-old child to support me. It was fantastic. Everyone there was so supportive, but they just laughed at me. They'd say to me, oh, so where's your support crew? And I'd say, there. He's this big. And they'd look at my bike and they'd say, oh, you've still got V brakes. And V brakes are like really, really old-fashioned and quite hard. Everyone these days races disc brakes. I haven't seen anyone for 2 years but me have V brakes on my bike. And so I raced all night and I had a fantastic time. I raced so much so with such a big smile on my face that everyone commented. When I would actually come through the pits, all these people would come and I was getting neck massages and sit down here, you need a rest. And it was fantastic. I actually, that night, came second the next day. If I listened to the doctors, I wouldn't have achieved my dream. Guys, if you listen to yourself and what's really important to you and go for it, you'll live your dream too. How many of us spend our lives being held back and listening to maybe other people around us? Or even to ourselves because we're too scared to get out there and kick some butt. Sometimes we just got to kick our own butt, I've discovered, because everyone tells you that you can't. But that's okay too, I've got really good at it. And it doesn't hurt as much when you kick your own sometimes. Yeah, so I discovered myself what was really important to me. Added on to that, when I actually raced at the Australian Championships, not only did I rank second, I actually qualified to go to the World Championships. So 7 years ago, the doctors told me to give up on life. Tomorrow I fly out to Canada to race with the best of the best. Not because I'm a good cyclist, because I'm not. I just really like it, and I love to do the best that I possibly can. End of story. Guys, are you doing the best you possibly can? That's the most important thing. Are you being true to yourself? Are you living the dream? I did, and then I didn't. But now I am, and there's no way I'm letting that go ever again, because I've been on both sides of the scale. I listened to the doctors for 16 weeks, and my life was absolute crap. What about you? Where's your life right now? Are you excited about it? Are you passionate? Are you achieving? Are you living your dream? I challenge you right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Right now, live the dream. Thanks, guys.